Hey everyone, it is Sunday. I was just looking yesterday and we're 23 days into this crisis and still trying to do ministry as best as we can, but it is Sunday. And as we know, Sunday nights is always for Life Teen. I can't tell you how much all of the adults miss all of our young people. And I'm so blessed to be joined right now by three of our seniors who we miss seeing in person, but we're very grateful to be here tonight as we kick off this evening's Life Night. So I'd like to welcome Cole Mackesy, Isabella Jacoby, and Benjamin Reese as we talk tonight about what is Life Teen going to look like tonight and how can you get involved. So the reason we asked these three young people to join us tonight is to talk about most specifically their kind of loss that we're all experiencing losses, right? And Father Frank talked about how our church is in the 10th station right now, that we're all being stripped of everything that we love, whether it's school, the sports, the captainships. That's not even a word, but we all know I love to make up words. But all those losses that we're experiencing right now. And one of the losses that our youth group really experienced this past week was that we were not able to present the living stations of the cross to our parish community, which we've done every year for the last 7 years. And so I'm just going to open it up to these fine young people here just to really talk about how they're doing, especially as seniors right now and experiencing these different kinds of losses in their lives. So Cole, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, so it is a little difficult, especially being seniors. You know, you grow up and it's always like you want to get to 12th grade, you want to be a senior so that, you have family time, you get to graduate. But I think for all of us here, we have a really close senior friend group within the church, and then we also hang out outside the church. And we were really, looking forward to doing these living stations and especially just participating in Holy Week. Although it is very difficult, I think we all have a greater appreciation for the sacraments and then also our friendships together. I see constantly people saying, I can't wait. As soon as this is over, we're going to hang out right away. But it really just gives you a greater appreciation for that gift of friendship that we have.
Amen. How about you, Izzy?
Like Cole said, it's hard. It's difficult because you said the stations have been going on for 7 years, and every year I've been watching, and I saw my sister be married. I saw all my friends, I saw many other people go through the stations and all get to do their part. And then this year I was lucky enough to land Mary and be able to do that. And then just having not being able to be in the stations is just it's difficult. And also what Cole said, especially since us three are seniors, it's difficult not having senior events and not being able to be with our friends for our last final year. And it's just it's difficult.
Yeah.
But knowing that, I guess it's Holy Week. So and I know some people may not feel like it's Holy Week. It may not feel like it's Holy Week to them since what's happened in the past few weeks. But I feel especially what's happened in the past few weeks, that I've gotten closer to God in a way because I've been able to pray every night with my family and just be closer with my family, with God, and just that. So it's been difficult, but I've been dealing with it well, especially with my family and God.
That's glad to hear. I'm glad to hear definitely hearing those positive outcomes of the suffering is truly beautiful. Thanks for sharing that, Izzy. How about you, Ben?
I guess one thing that has really struck me about this whole thing is that since we're all going to college next year, we don't have a lot of time left together, as a friend group, and we've grown up together and everything. So it's really heartbreaking that I don't know how many months we're going to not be able to see each other, and that's going to be taken away from our final months together, which is, that's pretty hard. But like Izzy said, I do think this is a good time for us to grow in prayer, grow in our faith life, to really take a step back from all the distractions that the world has to offer and kind of just be at peace with God. But it also helps you realize or like Cole said, it helps you appreciate the things that we take for granted all the time.
Amen.
And if you don't mind, Melissa, I just have
Please.
one more thing
Please.
for a positive. Just, hearing Father Frank's homily today, and he was talking about how we are at the 10th station and everything's getting stripped down. I was reflecting on that in a little bit, and I think this Holy Week, which would be amazing, I feel like all of us here in the youth ministry are always very busy during leading up to Holy Week. We always have, we're getting ready for Living Stations of the Cross. I know for me and my fellow sacristans, we're ready for the Triduum. All of us are excited for that. And I was looking at it, and I think, last year I might have not seen its full purpose. The purpose is supposed to be Jesus, and I kind of looked at it as, these series of liturgies that were occurring. So I think one thing that we can all take away from this is when we're all stripped down, we don't get to have the living stations. We don't get to go physically to the morning liturgy, the hours, to really experience that Triduum, to really try and put the focus back and not having to worry about these specific things and just trying to focus on the true purpose.
Amen, Cole. And I think that's so well said, especially, the kids are getting a little rambunctious, the kids being my cherubs, they're getting a little rambunctious during the video masses. They're having a harder time. The first week it was new, so they sat there all dressed up. They were paying attention, and third weekend they're starting to go, Mom, this is not church. And I'm like, but this is what we can do. And I think maybe for some of us, Father Frank led us in that beautiful kind of guidance before we read the Passion today of really, dispelling any distractions so that we could really focus in on what was happening. But how often do we not really see the real torture that Christ went through on his passion to his death? How often do we just listen to the words? We've heard the story a million times, so it's not as impactful to us. Like you said, Cole, to really come back to Jesus, to really come back to what he did for us 2,000 years ago, which he, as we know, because he exists outside of time and space, that he did for us individually. And so one of the things we want to invite all of our young people to, young people with your parents, with your families, is to join us for a very special Life Night tonight. One that is going to start by you visiting a website, www.experience-the-stations.com, and to experience the Stations of the Cross, maybe in a way you have not experienced them before, in which there are scenes from Mel Gibson's The Passion tied in with contemporary music to really experience, to go through these 14 stations with Christ. Now, I know some of you guys have seen some scenes from that. Can any of you comment as to why it would be worth watching tonight?
Yeah, so I think it's a very powerful movie. I look at it as nobody can perfectly recount the Passion. Nobody can see what exactly Christ was going through. But I think on the physical side of how he humanly looked, the scourging at the pillar, it really is something powerful, because you don't really think about that. I really think of the scourging at the pillar, and I think of the agony in the garden, because that's something that people usually overlook when reading through the Passion, but it really shows us the mental torment that went through. So it really just gives you a better understanding of exactly what Christ went to get to that Easter Sunday.
Amen. Thank you.
Yeah, I think the Passion is just something that you need to you just need to watch it. In order to, I feel like a lot of us, when we were reading about reading about Jesus' Passion, or just thinking about it, we don't really think about what actually happened. Sure, we say that he was crucified, but we don't know. We don't even have a bit of what Jesus went through. We can't even comprehend that. So the movie is just that first step at even beginning to comprehend what even the physical aspect of that was.
Yeah. What about you, Izzy?
Okay, so I watch the movie every year on Good Friday with my family, every single year since it's come out. And like what everyone else has been saying, we just talk about Jesus's Passion, we hear about it, we learn about it in school, or maybe it's mentioned at CCD, or or even at Life Nights, but you don't really get a true understanding, or you don't really see truly what Jesus went through, at least you don't really you don't see it like as well until you watch the movie, because like what Cole said, you can't show it perfectly, but it's probably one of the closest things we can get to, and like just by watching that, like that's how you can really, it really shows like how much he suffered for us and how he died on the cross for us in the end.
Absolutely. And I will say some scenes are very difficult to watch, but the 45 minutes is well worth your time to experience the stations in this way. And if you have time this week during Holy Week, we do highly recommend, Amazon Prime, I believe, has the Passion, the full movie of the Passion available right now. So you can spend some time this Holy Week in trying, and watching that movie. But for tonight, we invite all of our young people, as soon as this video is done, we invite you to go on to www.experiencethestations.com, and the video will come right at the top of the screen. Just hit play, stream it to your TV if you would like, but take some time and watch that tonight. Immediately following that, that's going to bring you to just about 8 o'clock. Join us back on the YouTube channel, because we are going to have a live Holy Hour streamed for you. So we're going to go from watching and experiencing the stations with Jesus into prayer before Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament. And we're going to invite you to really head into Holy Week with Christ, even though we can't physically receive him right now, even though we can't physically be in the church, as all three of our young people have mentioned, to be able to focus our entire being on him, and to really do what Father Frank said, and to make this the best Holy Week ever. And it's going to be one that I know none of us will ever forget. But let's really jump into this week, feet first, all in, and really put ourselves on Calvary with Christ as we head into the week. Cole, Ben, Izzy, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I look forward to seeing you all at our Holy Hour virtually. But we wish you well. We thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing everyone soon. And we will continue to pray for an end to this crisis, to pray for the health and well-being of all of our parishioners, all of our young people, everyone around the world, for healing, and that we may be able to experience Christ physically in the sacraments again real soon. God bless everyone, and we'll see you soon.